Okay, so now, hi everyone and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be talking about the Eastern Conference of the NBA, just breaking down the standings, where every team is at right now, their record, and what I think about them for the future um, going forward. So obviously this was their position before the hiatus that the NBA is inevitably going through with coronavirus hitting the world right now, a global pandemic from which I hope all of you are safe from, and stay safe, stay healthy, and yeah, let's talk about the NBA. Let's get right into the video. So, starting with the Milwaukee Bucks in first place, who have already clinched a playoff spot. Um, Obviously, they have a clear MVP candidate in Giannis, who is leading the team every night, dominating rivals. But my concern about them is, can they keep this up in the playoffs? Last year, we saw how they got beat by the Raptors, who obviously had Kawhi Leonard in the Finals MVP. But the Bucks don't have a lot of perimeter shooting, although they have Kyle Korver, but he's in probably in one of the last years of his career, uh, a veteran of the league. So I don't know if they're gonna have the outside shooting to carry them through the playoffs and make it out of the East. However, they do have an all-around solid team with Malcolm Brogdon, Middleton, uh, Brook Lopez, and obviously Kawhi. But can they do this in the playoffs? They have a lot of experience right now after what they were through last year. Another question is, can they do this in the playoffs? Can they really um, push forward with their style of game right now? After the Bucks, in second place we have the Raptors, who are a very fun team to watch. Nick Nurse seems like a great coach, and if Siakam continues to play like this, I think they have a really good chance at making a run for it in the playoffs with the experience that they already have in their lineup, with Kyle Lowry or uh, Freddie Van Fleet, Federico, who have been part of clutch moments in the playoffs. Also, yeah, Kyle Lowry can really lead this team, and last year he did so alongside Kawhi Leonard, but he was also clutch during some moments of the playoffs. And the team overall just shows a lot of chemistry with also promising young talents that the Raptors somehow can develop from the G League. Then the Celtics, they're just a very deep team, and Tatum and Brown seem to play well together. Uh, Smart is a really good defender, good 3-and-D player. Hayward seems to be getting better and better after his injuries, and let's see what they can do in the playoffs. Then the Miami Heat, they're one of my favorite teams because of the way they play and how they fight for every game. They have shooters, and everyone on the team can get you a bucket at any point, which is something essential during the playoffs. You need to have players who can score at any given moment, and the Miami Heat have just that in players such as Tyler Hero, Jimmy Buckets, Kendrick Nunn, Duncan Robinson, or Bam Adebayo, alongside many other players, Iggy as well. They have a bunch of players who really seem to mesh well together, and if they enter the playoffs with good chemistry and on a good roll, I think they can even come out of the East. And the Pacers, they're just a really solid team. They're always in the picture for the playoffs, but I don't know if they can up their game to the point where they can aspire for more. Uh, Maybe if Oladipo continues to integrate again into the team, they can maybe uh, challenge some teams in the playoffs. Then the 76ers, obviously one of the most disappointing teams this season. I'm just worried about them, about their locker room. Jimmy Butler recently went on the JJ Redick podcast, who's not a player of the Pelicans, obviously, but last year was a member of the 76ers alongside Jimmy. And he just commented on how the locker room didn't seem to be meshing well, how Brett Brown wasn't really making the necessary adjustments. However, they were one shot away from being in the conference finals. That shot that Kawhi managed to score that in a very dramatic fashion. But maybe there's a lack of leadership and accountability in the 76ers. However, maybe Al Horford can prove to lead the team. And obviously you can never just discard a team with this amount of talent. Although they definitely need more shooting and some players to just step up their game and be leaders of the locker room. In the Brooklyn Nets, everything is temporary right now with them, as it is thought that they will bring in Tyronn Lue next year, but they could have a nice run with solid players such as Dinwiddie or LeVert, with a locker room that seems more inspired after Atkinson's departure. Although, for the record, Kenny Atkinson was the coach who's put them in this position in the first place, who's developed a lot of the players on the roster right now. But I just think with this team, it's just gonna be very interesting to see how they will be ran when Kyrie and KD are healthy. They have immense talent. Now the question is, can Kyrie and KD lead the team and really make a run for the Bill O'Brien Trophy? Then the Magic, they're a tough team with one of the best defenses but a somewhat lacking offense. A player that I would like to just point out is Markelle Fultz. Markelle Fultz has been improving, and if he continues to develop, he can be a very solid point guard for years to come. His shooting is improved, and his IQ is extremely high for a point guard. Then the Wizards, I just feel bad for Bradley Beal. He's playing spectacular basketball, but his team can't offer more to him. It seems like. There were 2 games where he scored 108 points combined, and they lost both games, and one of them was to the Chicago Bulls, who are below them in the standings right now, and they're probably gonna end up that way. Although I'm optimistic for the Wizards if they keep Bertans and Hachimura and Thomas Bryant can continue to develop, especially with John Wall coming back. I think that good things may be in store for them. But I hope that Beal continues to be the leader and the leading scorer of the team as well, with John Wall just passing the ball around and distributing. I think that would be a formula for success for the Wizards. Then in Charlotte, the Hornets have good players, PJ Washington or DJ Graham and Terry Rozier. They seem to be going the right way for the future. The Bulls, they have good prospects. Kobe White looks like the future starting point guard for them, as he can score and seems to be getting better at also directing the game. But Jim Boylen does not seem to be a good fit. Players are constantly mad at, and a lot of reports have come out that they don't like him. So I just hope the Bulls can address that situation, because they have a lot of potential. Starting next year, they could be a playoff team. They were previewed to be a playoff team this year, but injuries and just coaching adjustments and mishaps have prevented them from being in the playoffs. So perhaps next year they can get everything on track. Then the Knicks. What to do with the Knicks? They are rebuilding. Maybe with Leon Rose they can finally be competitive again. I just think RJ needs more touches. He's proven to be pretty effective, and his shot seems improved when compared to his percentages at Duke last year, especially from the 3-point line. The current coach, who replaced Fizdale, is trying to get as many wins as possible to keep his job, which is perfectly understood, but the Knicks need to sit down with him and decide if he's going to be gone or not, so that he can give more minutes and touches to the young players. And Frank Ntilikina, who has played great games with confidence. RJ, who can very well be a future star and just a bucket getter. And Mitchell Robinson or Alonzo Trier, who seems to be a very good role player, who's always also cheering for his teammates. Then Detroit, let's see what they can do with the new cap space that they have now and how they pick in the draft, they appear to have a very good player in Christian Wood as well. The Hawks need more defense. Let's see how they pick in the draft. Let's see how they develop their prospects. Trae Young, starting all-star. They also have John Collins, Cam Reddish, Herder. Let's see if they can continue to develop. Maybe some coaching changes would also be in place. Let's see what they do. But they could be a very good team next year. And then the Cavaliers, they have talent. They need to fit it all together because they have great players in Drummond and Colin Sexton. Perhaps they can trade Love and get another young talent in this year's draft. And also let's see what they do with Garland, but they also have talent. It's just a matter of can they use it properly, can they fit them all together, and can they develop their players. Okay, that was a rundown of every team in the Eastern Conference. The next video we'll be talking about the Western Conference, and then more NBA videos will also be uploaded to the channel. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's been a pleasure. I'm out.